Right. Everyone, please say it 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Once again, let me wish everyone a very happy spiritual evening. So, Vipassana time is over. So, we practice Vipassana from May to the end of October. Then, starting from this Friday, we are going to learn about loving kindness meditation. So, loving kindness meditation has two kinds of practices, methods. So, we start from the first method. In the first method, it is quite similar to the practice that we were doing. So, at the end of all breathing meditation sessions, and after that, all kinds of Vipassana meditation sessions, we did loving kindness meditation in brief. So, this first method is very close to that particular method. So, what we do is we spread our loving kindness. We spread our loving kindness, first of all, towards yourself. Then after that, towards your parents. But here, there is a specialty. Earlier, when we did the brief loving kindness meditation practice, so we spread loving kindness. So, just as, first you spread loving kindness towards yourself, then we grouped the others. So, to a one category. So the parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. But here, when we are doing this original meditation practice, we separate them. First of all, we think of our parents, and we spread loving kindness towards our parents. And then after that, we spread our loving kindness towards our teachers. Then after that, the relatives, and then the friends. Then after that, the neutral people. And then after that, the enemies. And finally, all the beings. This is how it will go. So, and the sentences that we will use, they'll be longer too. And earlier we just used, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. But when it comes to the original loving kindness meditation practice method 1, so now it becomes longer. So you have to take a little effort to memorize things. So that's why, where is your one, Chris? All right. Yeah, I have one. So, please try to memorize. Please try to memorize. For the online students, I already emailed them the loving kindness meditation 1. If possible, I would like to request Mrs. Diane to share the PDF and the document, Word document. So first of all, we practice this method, and then when we come, we practice this one for 4 weeks. After that, we will start practicing the second method. In the second method, anymore, you don't discriminate any being. Instead, when you come to the 4th week, you gain the ability to spread loving kindness without any discrimination towards all the beings. Then next month, on the month of December, you will start practicing loving kindness, spreading loving kindness to all the beings. All the beings, direction-wise. So north, south, east, west, like that. somehow in this meditation technique, if you feel difficult to sit, that means on the other meditation times, that means while you are practicing breathing meditation and when you are practicing Vipassana meditation specifically, I requested you to keep the posture unshaken and to sit without changing the posture. But here, during this meditation time, loving kindness meditation period, you are not given such kind of instructions. So if you like, you can stay with the same posture longer. But if it is difficult, if it is very painful, then you can change it. That's fine. So because the relaxation of your body is also important. So please keep that in mind. And when you when you practice loving kindness, there are so many negativities that we do have. So I told you, anger is a negativity, jealousy, hatred, ill will, and there are so many other negativities. So all those negativities, they don't get eradicated, but they get suppressed. Because of your loving kindness meditation, you can suppress them, right? So and so then at the same time, when you are practicing loving kindness meditation, you start to become a person with so many great qualities. First of all, you become a giver. When you are practicing loving kindness meditation, you become a giver. And at the same time, you become a generous person. So you practice generosity. Not only you should practice generosity material-wise, you should practice generosity so spiritual-wise too. So you become a generous person. And at the same time, you become a person who shares kindness. So you become a person who shares kindness. And at the same time, you become a person who practices caring. Everybody loves caring. Everybody tries to have the caring of the other people. So you become a caregiver. You share your caring with the others. And then you practice consoling. You become a consoler, right, for the others. So not only for the others, for yourself too. And at the same time, you become a listener. You become a listener, listener to other people's pains, right? And at the same time, you become the person who holds the other people closer, right? And at the same time, you become a forgiver, a person who forgive the other people. And then you become a person who feels good about yourself and the other people, right? And at the same time, you become a person who shares equality. Gradually, you let go of your discrimination and you become a person who shares equality. Let the other person. So there are so many beings in this world, and there are so many discriminations that we do, like categorizations that we do. Whatever the categorizations the other people do have, you share, you gain the ability to treat them equally, right? So regardless of their social status, appearance, etc., right? And at the same time, you you gain the ability to throw away certain, to let go of certain negativities. So number one is anger. So you can't let it go completely, but you can let it go to a certain level. And at the same time, you gain the ability to develop more patience now, right? You gain the ability to tolerate more, right? And and so there are such kind of great benefits. I will describe them later on too. So great benefits that you will gain. So very calmly, with a very calm mind, with a mind full of love, full of caring, full of generosity, full of compassion. Please practice loving kindness. First of all, it will cool down yourself. Right? When you have a good bath, right? When we have a good bath, what happens is we cool down ourselves. We feel so comfortable. Just like that, loving kindness, after practicing loving kindness meditation, you will feel so good about yourself. So, very calmly, very quietly, with full of love, developing full of love, right? Developing compassion with it, right? Please practice loving kindness meditation. Start from with yourself and then gradually spread it towards all the beings, right? So now everyone, please keep your back straight. Neck straight and head straight. And please keep your right palm on your left palm and close your eyes. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Intentionally, please take another deep breath. Let it go. Now let your whole body to relax. First of all, I will pay our respect and gratitude towards the Buddha. Then after that, we are going to start today's meditation. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijjācarana sampanno sugato lokamido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Rata deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sannitiko akaniko Ehi pasiko opanaiko Pacatang veditammo vinyohiti Supanipanno bhagavato samaka sangho Ojo patipanno bhagavato samaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato samaka sangho Sami panipanno bhagavato samaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Ate purisa puggala Ese bhagavato samaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Nakiniyo anjali karniyo Anutterang punyakitang lokasati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with a mind full of love, full of compassion. Now let's get ready to practice loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness meditation. Everyone, let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax. And first of all, with a very loving mind, with a very kind mind, with a very compassionate mind, let's share our loving kindness, first of all, yourself. I. You don't have to, if it is possible, please try to remember all the sentences which are related to this loving kindness meditation. So if it is hard, then for today, please pick a few sentences and meditate. And when we practice loving kindness meditation in the next week, make sure you memorize those sentences by heart. Start spreading loving kindness towards yourself at first. May I be free from anger and hatred. May I be free from ill will and jealousy. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering. May I take care of myself happily. May I be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May I live with comfort and ease. Finally, may I attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Once again, may I be free from anger and hatred. May I be free from ill will and jealousy. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be free from physical suffering. May I take care of myself happily. May I be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May I live with comfort and ease. Finally, may I attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Nibbana. Please spread loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, let's share our loving kindness with our parents. With our parents. May my dear mother and my dear father be free from anger and hatred. May my dear mother and father be free from ill will and jealousy. May my dear mother and father be free from mental suffering. May my dear mother and father be free from physical suffering. May my dear mother and father take care of themselves happily. May my parents be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May my parents live with comfort and ease. May my parents, may my dear mother, dear father, attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Once again, towards your parents. May my dear mother and my dear father be free from anger and hatred. May my mother and father be free from ill will and jealousy. May my dear mother and father be free from mental suffering. May my dear mother and father be free from physical suffering. May my parents take care of themselves happily. May they be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May they live with comfort and ease. May they attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Spread your entire loving kindness, complete loving kindness towards your parents. Now let's share our loving kindness with our teachers. May my teachers be free from anger and hatred. May my teachers be free from ill will and jealousy. May my teachers be free from mental suffering. May my teachers be free from physical suffering. May my teachers take care of themselves happily. May they be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May they live with comfort and ease. May they attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Spread loving kindness, your complete loving kindness towards your teachers. Now let's spread our loving kindness towards our relatives and friends. May my relatives and friends be free from anger and hatred. May my relatives and friends be free from ill will and jealousy. May my relatives and friends be free from mental suffering. May my relatives and friends be free from physical suffering. May my relatives and friends take care of themselves happily. May they be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May they live with comfort and ease. May they attain ultimate peace, ultimate happiness, Nibbana. Spread loving kindness towards your relatives and friends. Now let's spread our loving kindness towards the neutral people, the people who are in the middle, They are not our friends. At the same time, they are not our enemies. The majority. Let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings, all the people in the middle. May the neutral people, all the people in the middle, at the center, may they be free from anger and hatred. May the neutral people be free from ill will and jealousy. May the neutral people be free from mental suffering. May the neutral people be free from physical suffering. May they take care of themselves happily. May they be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May they live with comfort and ease. May they attain ultimate peace, ultimate happiness, Nibbana. Spread loving kindness towards all the neutral people. Neutral people. Now let's spread our loving kindness towards the enemies. Now here, you start with a person that you have grudge. First of all, think of a person that you have grudge and spread loving kindness towards that person first. You have to do it individually or by yourself. And then after that, think of all the other enemies and spread loving kindness towards them too. Please spread loving kindness towards the enemies. May my enemies be free from anger and hatred. May my enemies be free from ill will and jealousy. May my enemies be free from mental suffering. May my enemies be free from physical suffering. May my enemies take care of themselves happily. May they be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May they be at comfort and ease. And may they attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Please spread loving kindness towards your enemies. Now let's share our loving kindness with all the beings in the world. Let them be human beings. Let them be non-human beings. Let them be visible. Let them be not visible. Let them be tiny. Let them be very big. Let them be very weak. Let them be very powerful. Let them be attractive. Let them be ugly, not attractive. Determine that you'll share your loving kindness with all without any discrimination towards all the beings. Equal loving kindness. You will share equal loving kindness. May all beings be free from anger and hatred. May all beings be free from ill will and jealousy. May all beings be free from mental suffering. May all beings be free from physical suffering. May all beings take care of themselves happily. And may all beings be full of love, compassion, good health, safety, and peace. May all beings live with comfort and ease. May all beings attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Please spread loving kindness towards all the beings. Share your loving kindness with all the beings, all the beings. Bhavetu sabbe mangalam rakhantu sabbe devata sabbe buddhanubhavine sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavetu sabbe mangalam rakhantu sabbe devata sabbe dhammanubhavine sada sutti bhavantu te. Bhavetu sabbe mangalam rakhantu sabbe devata sabbe sanghanubhavine sada sutti bhavantu te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Everyone very calmly and quietly. Please open your eyes slowly. Let your whole body relax. Now place it 3 times, joining your palms together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. How do you feel about loving kindness meditation? So hope it was so soothing. So it calms down your whole body and mind, and at the same time it soothes your whole body and mind. So you can translate these loving kindness meditation sentences into your own language. So I know all the meditators, they are from various language backgrounds. So some meditators, they are so from here. So for them, English is fine. But there are some other students who speak Vietnamese. Some of you speak Gujarati. Some of you speak Kannada, and some of you speak Marathi and Telugu and Spanish. So you can translate these very sentences into your own languages, right? And then when you are practicing meditation, please use that translation, right? It will help you to generate more and more emotion. So loving kindness emotion will be powerful when you use your own language. So so somehow please memorize this method, right? Please memorize this method, and even when I practice, I also practice in my own language. So somehow please memorize them, and when you are practicing, please so spread loving kindness using these sentences, right? So then when you are practicing loving kindness, as I mentioned, one thing that you do is you let your past negative emotions go. You become a forgiver. Maybe there are so many bad actions that you have done in your own life too. Maybe small mistakes, big mistakes that you have done. You should become a person who let those things go. So when those things start to bright, so start to rot, actually rot inside, so they become very stinky, right? So you have to let those things go. Let it be a small mistake, let it be a big mistake, but past is past. You can't change it back. Even though you bring thousands of elephants, it is not something that you can drag back, right? You can't drag them back. So if there is something that you cannot control, you have to let it go. By that way, you have to forgive yourself. Those days, you were not wise enough to understand that they are wrong. So you did those wrong things. But now is now, yesterday is yesterday. So you let those things go. And you become a forgiver. Once, a small story. Once, a group of a teacher of a preschool wanted to teach the students so not to get angry. Then what she did, she asked all the students of that preschool to bring tomatoes. So all those students brought tomatoes. And she asked all of them to label them and keep those tomatoes at a certain place. And she asked them to not to touch them until 1 week. 1 week passed. After 1 week, what happened? Those tomatoes, they started rotting, and the whole classroom became very stinky. And then the teacher asked the students to take them and throw them away. They were not even willing to touch those rotten tomatoes, right? Then at that time, the teacher told the students, our own negative emotions are just like these rotten tomatoes. So, when they rot, they become very stinky, right? Very bad smelling. So we have to let our anger go. She taught only about anger, but all the negativities are like that. Sometimes, if you don't control, if you don't tame these negativities anytime, the negative emotions, they can come up and harm not only yourself, for the other people too. So the more you get rid of them, you will have a peaceful life, comfortable life, and a happy life, right? So so you should let those rotten tomatoes go, past bad memories, right? And at the same time, you should determine you are not going to do the very same wrong things again, right? And right. Then after that, so even I told this earlier too. So when you are walking on the path, or when you are driving on the way, so if you hear the sounds of an ambulance, if you see a poor homeless person, if you see a sick person, if you see an old person, right? If you see a person who has certain kind of a disability, right? Please spread loving kindness towards those people, right? Make that a habit. I remember when I was in Sri Lanka, one day I had to go to one close by temple for a ceremony. The person who drove, I went by tuk-tuk. You know tuk-tuk, right? I think you know tuk-tuk, right? Okay. It only has 3 wheels. Yeah, tuk-tuk. I think even in Vietnam, right, Middle Asia too. So they use tuk-tuk for, so they are the ones that can help us to hire and go for certain journeys. So when I was going along with him, so one ambulance passed. And at that time, this person, this person suddenly, he took his tuk-tuk out and he stopped it and closed his eyes and waited for a moment. So I was wondering what he's doing, what has happened. Then after maybe 1 minute, so he opened his eyes and turned on the tuk-tuk, and we were traveling. We were going on our journey. Then I asked him, out of curiosity, what he was doing. He told that he was spreading loving kindness, good wishes towards the patient who was inside that ambulance. Actually, I asked how he learned that. He told me that he learned from a Hindu Tamil. That lady taught him, and he also told me that she learned it from one Sinhalese Buddhist monk, because in Sri Lanka every morning from 7 to 8 there is a Dhamma talk on all. So the day starts with Dhamma talks. In Sri Lanka, all the radio stations, all the TV stations, they start with Dhamma talks. So at one Dhamma talk, one Bhante taught this, and she got from that listening to that Dhamma talk, and she kept on practicing, and finally she has given that very technique to this person. So somehow you also should do that. It's a very nice practice if you can do. First of all, so it's good for you. It can relax your mind, and it can give a lot of positive vibes. And at the same time, don't think that it is not effective for the patient, for that particular person. It's effective, right? So positive emotions, even though we don't think, the other people can feel it. Example. Two botanists. So botanics. So these are two scientists, botanists. So once two botanists decided that they will check the ability to react on trees. So then what they did, they planted the seed, and they let the seed grow into a small plant, baby plant. And then one of them started behaving badly towards the tree. That botanist, he comes and he calls at the tree, and threatens at the tree, and sometimes cuts the tree, that plant from this side or that side, and tortures it. And the other botanist comes, and what he does is he cares for the tree, he waters, and then touches, just like someone touches a baby, and then says very soft words and praises the growth of the tree, and he does. When it grew to a big tree, so they used those days. I'm talking about an experiment which happened several decades ago. So those times they only had those now we have so many infrared cameras, this and that. Those days they only had these Kirlian cameras, and with them they could take photos. So with those Kirlian cameras, they took photos. They checked the reaction of the tree towards each botanist. When the bad botanist was coming closer to the tree, it started spreading the rays which are bad. So it was spreading the rays towards the botanist who behaved badly towards the tree, negatively. It spread the negative rays. And when the good botanist, nice botanist came closer to the tree, it started spreading good rays. See, even the tree feels goodness and badness. So your loving kindness thoughts, the other human beings, they can feel. For an example, you smile. Let's say I smile at Atif. When I smile, you feel certain kind of vibe, right? So I smile at any of you, right? Ardita, right? You feel welcome, right? So it has power. Don't think it doesn't have power. So whenever you practice loving kindness meditation, whenever you share it with the other people, they feel it. It affects, right? So later on, when you develop it to a strong level, I don't want you to become healers or stuff like that, but you can affect the other people more powerfully than this. That's what I can say. So so if your loving kindness is a stick now, later on it will become a hammer, right? If you multiply it more and more, then that loving kindness will become a big rock, right? Like that. So it will grow. But you have to practice it sincerely, without thinking about anything else. You should share loving kindness emotions very sincere. Then you can multiply those stages. And when you practice loving kindness, it improves your EQ. Earlier, people were talking about IQ, but more nowadays, scientists say more important than EQ, IQ is the most important thing, right? You know, we had a Second World War. In Germany, there were big professors who learned deeply about chemicals, about gas. They built huge gas chambers, and they put thousands, hundreds of people in, and turn them into ash. Right? They had education, but they had IQ, but they didn't have EQ. Right? And so there were so many horrible such kind of, and here in Fresno, not only Fresno, even in Berkeley, one that at that time I was not here, but this has happened in 90s or early 2000s. There was a professor. So he had IQ, no EQ. He made pipe bombs, and I don't know whether at that time Artem was here. Can you remind? The person who I think sometimes Mr. Huan might know.
Ted Kaczynski.
Or Ms. Dan. So that that he was a professor at Berkeley University. But what he did, he made pipe bombs, and he set those pipe bombs up in various trash cans. When people opened the trash cans, they blasted, killing several people. Finally, the police they tried and tried and tried, and finally they went through the wire that he used, and finally they caught him. He had IQ, but no EQ. Maybe you are you don't have a big education. That's fine. You can survive. You can survive. But if you don't have EQ, very hard to survive. You are going to harm one person or the other. So it develops your EQ. And it brings you, I'm going to teach the benefits later on in the next week. So these are the comforts, several kinds of comforts that you are going to gain while you are practicing loving kindness. These are several comforts that you are going to gain. Number one, first one is you attract the wealth. Everybody likes wealth. Everybody likes money. So if you practice loving kindness, you attract wealth. But don't practice loving kindness to attract wealth, right? So, so let it happen if it happens. Please keep on practicing loving kindness for the sake of the practice. Number two, you attract the other people's respect. You attract the other people's respect. Number three, you attract other people's praises. The other people will feel praising. And always you so you will attract, you will get to see the pleasant objects, pleasant sights, pleasant things to see, right? And at the same time, that person will attract pleasant fragrance. Wherever you go, you will feel fragrance, right? And then so that person will attract pleasant words, pleasant sounds, right? And that person will attract pleasant tastes, right? And that person will attract pleasant touches. The touches will become pleasant for that person. So, and at the same time, that person will attract pleasant relatives and friends, right? And at the same time, that person will gain the will gain good health if you practice loving kindness, and that person will be free from hatred. No hate. Whatever it happens, no hate, right? And at the same time, that person will be deprived of. So that person won't have enemies, right? And final comfort is that person won't face dangers. Sometimes dangers come because of the government, because of fire, because of flood. That means because of water, and because of robbers. So all those kinds of dangers won't come for the person who multiply loving kindness meditation. So these are the comforts that loving kindness meditator will enjoy. If you want them, if you want, please practice. But don't practice to attract wealth, right? So if you do, then you lower this precious meditation practice. Loving kindness meditation is priceless. It is not to practice for cheap intentions. right? It is to practice for the benefit of you and benefit for the others. So please don't do like that. Please practice it for the benefit of you, benefit of the others, right? So I thought of not telling it, but since it is in the book, I told it. So please practice in the way that I taught. Then please keep these loving kindness sentences in mind. Memorize them. If you're familiar with English, that's fine. Then do it in English. But if you feel like your native language is better, then translate them into your native language. Next week too, I will recite this. But on the next 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, I'm not going to um, uh, remind this. So you have to do it all by yourself, by your own memory. So at that time, if you are doing it in Vietnamese, do it in Vietnamese. If you do it in Telugu or Gujarati or Marathi or Hindi or Spanish, so please do so. Don't worry. Uh, the most important thing is your emotion, right? And then on the way, when you meet helpless people, the people who need help, who face pain and difficulties in life, share your loving kindness, right? Please practice like that. And this loving kindness will finally bring you calmness. And it will develop concentration too. You can use that very concentration later on again in your Vipassana practice. Vipassana practice will help you to eradicate your negativities. It will help you to develop all kinds of positivities. And coming out of all the negativity, developing the positivities, finally you will attain real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. Right? So with those thoughts, let's finish today's session. Now everyone please think. Together all of us are gathered here in person and online and practice this wonderful non-sectarian meditation technique, loving kindness meditation. By that way, we accumulated a lot of positive energy. Let's share. Let's share, first of all, this positive energy with all the people who are suffering. May they come out of their suffering. May they be able to live lives with safety, good health, and peace. May this positive energy be with all of us. May all of us develop in this noble meditation practice. And may all the difficulties that we are facing in our lives be completely away. May all our good wishes come true. May all good things happen in our lives. Practicing the Dhamma path, may all of us attain real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, Nibbana. With those thoughts, everyone please join your palms together and please concentrate. Abhivadana silise nichang vada pachayinu Chataro dhamma vadanti ayubang no sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vache ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjato. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be very, very peaceful. Sukhi hotu. Sukhi hotu. Sukhi hotu. Good night to everyone. Good night. See you all in the next week. Right. Good night, Mr. Dan. Right. Good night,
Good night,
Mr.
sir.
Fuad.
Good night, Pate. Thank you.
Good night. Good night, Bante.
Good night, Jaime.
Good night, Bante. Thank
Good
you.
night, Bante.
Good night. And good night, Rahul and Pragati.
Yes.
Good night,
Good night,
Bante.
Bante. Have a nice
Good
weekend.
night. May you be happy. It's okay.
Thank you.